Hey Pokey people! Today we're going to assess whether Dusk main Necrozma has what it takes to be tier 1. I mean, it didn't really have much of a showing at Collinsville. It didn't look like it had too much of a showing at Malmo either. I didn't get to go to either event, I just didn't really see them in Top Cut. So I'm guessing people either didn't play it, maybe people just aren't thinking that it's tier 1, maybe there's a possibility it is. I personally don't really have a stake in the race. I don't enjoy the deck that much, I just think it's a little goofy. But I do think it's a fun deck to play, that's definitely true. So we're going to go ahead with my list. I feel like my list is pretty standard among what people have been trying. There's a big divide, I feel like, in the Dusk main community over whether or not you should run Dialga. And I currently do run Dialga because I think it's good. But you know, I've put in probably about 2 hours of testing into the deck, so it's hard to really say, you know, Dialga is worth including versus, you know, whether maybe it's not. A lot of people, I think, are coming to the conclusion that, you know, maybe it's not so much a great inclusion. A lot of people that I've been talking to felt like, you know, I really just would have rather had another Dusk main in my deck. So we're going to play around with Dialga, see how we feel about it, see if we want to keep the Dialga in the deck. One change I think I am going to make before we get started here is I think I want to use the bench damage blocking Magnemite. I was originally using this Magnemite because Sparkling Induction seems like it's pretty cool if you have, you know, a Magnemite on the bench and you have to like start with a Magnemite. It's a free retreat out of the active. So that's kind of neato, but at the same time, Buzzwole is everywhere, and bench damage I think is only going to get more intense, so I think I want to try the hard unit, I think that's what it's called, the hard unit Magnemite for the video. So let's go ahead and dial that back. Let's see. You might notice that I'm not running a Magneton, and the reason for that is I just feel like, I mean, the majority of the time that you set up Magnezone, you're probably going to be rare candying into it. That's kind of been my experience. I felt like Magneton was kind of a dead card. You know, there are situations obviously where you would want Magneton. So for example, like if you're playing against Espeon EX, you know, it's good to have a 1-of with the Magneton, so if they devolve your Magnezone, you don't have to look for another candy just to be able to evolve it again. But at the same time, I found that Magnezone is really good at just kind of front-loading your Pokemon in one turn, and then like if you're out of a Magnezone for a couple turns, it's not as big of a deal. You know, like a lot of times you're able to load up at least a few Pokemon, maybe make do with the Solgaleo Prism Star to charge up your Pokemon in the meantime, while you wait to make another Magnezone happen. So it's just, I don't feel like it's that big of a deal. I know there was a lot of hype around item lock going into Ultra Prism. A lot of people were really excited about the Luxray deck. I don't see it. I haven't seen it. I mean, I've seen it a little bit in Play Online, but it has literally never been an issue. I've steamrolled that deck every time that I've come across it. I've tried playing it, and I got steamrolled every time I tried playing it. Maybe I just wasn't playing an ideal list. Maybe I was playing other people kind of like me, just trying to figure out, you know, what is the right list for Luxray, and people just got tired of losing constantly before they found that ideal list. Maybe it's out there. I don't know, but for now, I don't feel like item lock is really going to be a concern. So I'm not really bothered with, you know, not being able to play a rare candy, so I think that'll be okay. If they bring back Double Dragon Energy, I think Noivern GX could potentially become a thing and bring item lock back to the meta, but that's not today. That's, you know, way off in the future, and it's a maybe, so we'll see how it goes. Because I am running the Dialga as an attacker, I am only actually running 2 Dusk main Necrozmas, and that's just because I feel like when you have primary attackers like this, you really don't necessarily need more than 3 total. I mean, it depends on the deck. In some cases, obviously, you would need more. we are running, of course, in any metal deck right now, Solgaleo Prism Star. This card is just way too good. If you're not familiar with the Prism Star mechanic, it's new in Ultra Prism, so whenever you get a Prism Star Pokemon knocked out, or like if it's a supporter or something like that and it gets used, it just goes straight into the Lost Zone. You can't bring it back, you can't put it back into play, and you can only run one of any given Prism Star in your deck at a time. You can run multiple Prism Stars, it's not the same Prism Star with multiple cards. You can't run multiple of the same Prism Star, if that makes sense. So Corona Impact is fine. What we mostly run Solgaleo Prism Star for is this Radiant Star attack right here. For each of your opponent's Pokemon in play, not necessarily just on their bench, but in play. So if they've got a loaded bench, a full bench, and something in the well, they always have something in the active, but that would be 6 Pokemon. So you would attach 6 Metal Energy cards from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way that you like. And with the speed at which Duskmane discards energies by just attacking, maybe just retreating in Dialga after you use the GX attack, so you can come in and smash something else with the, with the Solgaleo, you get energies in the discard so quick with this deck that you can really make use of this, not too late in the game. Whenever I first saw the card, I was really kind of convinced, this is going to be a late game only card. It's going to be a dead card if you draw into it early, or if you start with it, God forbid, it's just going to be a waste. But I was very wrong with that. I was very, very wrong. But yeah, Corona Impact is okay as well. It's pretty good damage for a Pokemon that's not an EX or a GX. That's a 1 prize attacker. Corona Impact, you can charge this up pretty easily with Magnezone, or even just with Solgaleo itself if it doesn't get knocked out after using Radiant Star to load itself up. 160 damage. I mean, what else do I need to say? Slap a Choice Band on there, that's 190, getting rid of most of the Pokemon in the meta. Just like that, gets rid of Buzzwole, gets rid of Bulu, gets rid of... I can't think of other things right now for some reason. I'm brain dead. But yeah, it's just a really solid inclusion. I would definitely suggest this for any metal deck, except Dugtrio, because you don't want to attach, metal energies to your Pokemon. But who's playing Dugtrio? Just me. So anyway, I already talked about the Magnemites and the Magnezones. Dialga, I did kind of talk about, that I wanted to include it, but I didn't really talk about why I want to include it. So for one, I mean, it's a Pokemon that's not weak to fire, so that's kind of cool. That's, a very mild advantage of it. It's mostly all about this Timeless GX attack. It's 150 damage, which sounds really poopy for the amount of energy investment that you have to put into this thing. You have to play down 3 Metal Energy and 2 Colorless Energy to be able to use this attack. That sounds ridiculous, but the speed at which you can attach Metal Energy with this deck makes it not quite so bad, and then the effect is just ridiculous. So basically, what it does is after you attack with this, it's your turn again. It skips your opponent's turn. You can use another supporter. You can attack again. You can just do all of this stuff all over again, and that's huge. That's mind-blowing to me. Like I said, a lot of people who have been playing Duskmane kind of prefer just a third Duskmane instead of Dialga. I'm really enjoying Dialga. I feel like it's a great starter just to get a quick early knockout with Timeless GX, retreat, get some energy in the discard pile, start getting it back with, Mount Coronet, and just attaching like crazy with Magnezone. It just seems like a really fun inclusion to the deck, and I've enjoyed it. One other cool thing about Dialga that I want to point out is that Shred, for, again, 3 energy for 80 damage, that's not great. It's better than Charizard GX, but not by much. Here's the interesting thing. This attack's damage isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. What that means is that you can knock out a Baby Ninetales with this. Well, I mean, not in one hit, because that's like 110 HP, but you get what I'm saying. You can damage a Baby Ninetales with this, even though it's a GX Pokemon, a basic GX Pokemon. You can damage a Hoopa with this, being a basic GX Pokemon. That's wild. That's really cool. So if nothing else, that's okay. And then some people like this Overclock attack. I actually don't think it's that great, but it's fine. I mean, 1 metal energy, I mean, it's a good cost. Draw cards until you have 6 cards in hand. So I mean, if you go second, it's a decent opening attacker. If you play out your hand, you've got like an empty hand, lets you draw 6, and then kind of puts you at an advantage for the next turn. So I mean, it has its uses. Anyway, pretty standard stuff. We are running 2 copies of Tapu Lele. Just a 1/1 line of Octillery, just because this list is pretty tight. I don't think I could fit in any more than that. 2 copies of Professor's Letter, because you can attach more than 1 energy in a turn using Magnazone's ability. Professor's Letter is just really good because that's just 2 extra energy attachments for your turn, and all you're doing is burning an item card. With Garbodor kind of taking a backseat still, I think it is coming back, but it's not that prevalent just quite yet. That's great. It's like a free extra 2 energy attachments. It's wild. So there's 2 of those. I wanted to put more, but I couldn't really justify it. 4 rare candies, just because getting these Magnazones up as soon as possible, turn 2 ideally, is very important. Rescue Stretcher, just a 1 of, if one of your Duskmanes gets knocked out and maybe the other's prize lets you get it back. I don't really think that it's too important to have more than just the 1 Rescue Stretcher. It hasn't really been an issue for me, but again, it'll all come out in testing. 4 copies of Ultra Ball, very standard. 4 copies of Mount Coronet. This card is very key to this deck because, again, you're going to be throwing energy into your discard, basically out of a bucket. Discard pile, basically out of a bucket. You're just like throwing it away constantly. You're getting rid of your energies, and you need a steady way to be able to get them back into your hand, and not just back into your hand, like multiple in your hand per turn, because you want to constantly be attaching a load of energy during your turn. Mount Coronet lets that happen. Acerola, this is kind of a controversial card for the list. This is one of the the weird inclusions that I have. I think a lot of people that I've talked to have kind of disagreed with me on Acerola. I personally really like it. There's a large part of the meta that does knock out Dialga GX and Duskmane Necrozma GX in one shot, but there's also still a large corner of the meta that doesn't, that still kind of goes for the 1-2 punch. You hit twice to get a knockout, or multiple times, or whatever the case may be. So there's going to be a lot of times where your Duskmanes are taking a hit, but they're not quite getting knocked out. The reason why Acerola is really cool, I mean, in your mind you might be thinking, okay, I invested 4 energy into an attack, why would I just pick it up? Magnazone, you can just pick it up, remove all the damage, put it back down, play all of those energies back on, and you reset your board state. It's just, I feel like it's a strong inclusion. So I kind of just want to play around with it and see what kind of mileage I get out of it. So we'll see kind of how that goes. 2 copies of Bridget, an early game Bridget, like in most decks, is just really good for this deck. Lets you get out Magnemite if you don't have one, kind of in your starting hand. That's pretty important. Lets you get down, a Duskmane, maybe a Remoraid, a Dialga, whatever you need. It's just a really good card. Doesn't really need a whole lot of explaining. 4 copies of Cynthia. 3 copies of Guzma. Guzma is just really good in this deck, although sometimes, on some occasions, you do want to retreat just to throw the energy into the discard, get it back with Mount Coronet. So that's fine too. So that's why I'm not reading 4 copies. 4 copies of N and 1 copy of Sycamore. That might seem like really low for a Sycamore. But again, because we have so many 1-ofs in this deck, we can't afford to discard a Remoraid. We can't afford to discard Duskmane. We can't afford to discard Solgaleo Prism Star. There's just a lot of resources that you don't want to be ditching, but there are those occasions where you end up with just an empty hand and a Sycamore, and that's the best feeling in the world. So I mean, there's a 1-of copy in there, but I don't really want to include any more than that. 3 copies of Skyla, just to be able to get that Magnazone out really, really quick as possible. Choice Band isn't that important in this deck, just because Duskmane does deal 220 damage. That's pretty ridiculous, but it is kind of important for Dialga GX, especially if your opponent has a 180 HP EX or GX. Just wipe the board, get an easy 2 prizes, and then it's your turn again. So Choice Band does have some uses in the deck. It's just not super prominent. Kind of the same with Floatstone. Retreating isn't that big of a deal because, again, Mount Coronet just gets those energies right back for you, so it's not that painful to retreat. But, you know, one of inclusion, just in case they throw up your, you know, Guzma up your Octillery to make you stuck or something like that. You're not going to be playing energy onto Octillery unless you're just doing it to retreat it. And last but not least, 10 copies of Metal Energy. We want to be able to have a steady stream of Metal Energy while still not flooding yourself because you still need, you know, all the utility cards to make the deck run. So that's pretty much that for the deck. So let's go ahead and save the list with the tweaks that we made. Your deck has at least one complete evolution chain. It's talking about that Magneton not being in there. So we're okay with that. Let's go ahead and jump into, let's actually do a tournament. We've got the tickets to do it. Hopefully hopefully we don't get out in round one. Let's see if we can get as lucky as last time. Kind of like with Glaceon, I don't necessarily believe that Dusk Main is tier 1. So there's a decent chance that we will get the boot here. But a lot of people are still playtesting decks. A lot of people are still playing like kind of weird, quirky lists to see what's good, see what doesn't work, and that kind of thing, even now that St. Louis is over. So there's a chance we could get lucky, and you know, maybe the deck is just better than we think it is. Maybe it just didn't get a showing because no one else thought it would be good, and so no one brought it, when in reality, maybe it is good. Okay, without further ado, tournament has started. Let's get into it. So we've got a Dark Psychic Lightning deck, so this is probably going to be, I wonder if it's going to be Raichu Garbiter. That's actually gotten a little bit of like low-key hype recently, and I put the list together myself and I actually really like it. It's with that new Pachirisu that charges up. Oh gosh, this is the worst start. So with that new Pachirisu that throws a lightning energy from your deck onto any Pokemon on your bench that has the muzzle attack. Well, you're playing a Raichu deck, and oh, are we playing Tapu Koko? I think we are, yeah. We are playing Tapu Koko. I am not as worried. I wanted this to be a deck so many times in the past, and it's just not. But I haven't tried it since Ultra Prism, so maybe there's some new stuff that'll make it pretty rad. Draw a card. I would love to draw a card. You know what would be good though? That Rule of Evil Weavile with Honchkrow. That seems pretty good. Because abilities are everywhere and that's not going away. Especially if that new Greninja deck becomes good. I am really excited about that Greninja GX. It seems pretty fun. I think it'll be good to play with Glaceon or Zoroark. I put together a couple lists today whenever it got announced. I'm still kind of thinking it through. So we're going to be a little tricky here. So we're going to put out Mount Coronet. We're going to bump out their Potem. We're going to Ultra Ball away these two energies. We're just going to Mount Coronet them back after we get what we want. So let's go for another Lele. We're going to set up with a Bridget here. Just to kind of get started, get the wheels rolling. I want to know if this deck plays Weavile. Rule of Evil or the new one, I forget what the attack is called. But there's an Ultra Prism Weavile that is incredibly good, that had a massive showing in Malmo. So let's see, just grab a Magnemite, and let's actually grab... I guess let's just grab a Dialga, or not Dialga, Duskmoon. That's fine. I'm gonna Mount Coronet to get these two energies back real quick before we end our turn. Play one down onto Dusky Main, and that's gonna be that. Next turn, if we don't get end, we can Skylift for Rare Candy, put down the DuskyZone, lay down this other energy, and then hopefully Cynthia to get some more energies and just get rolling. Field Blower, that's okay. We don't have any energies in the discard just yet, and we've got 3 more Mount Coronets to go, so getting rid of one this early isn't that real. I'm okay with it. Okay, so far all we see are Lele's and birds. Hey! You don't even have to skyload. Oh wait, yeah, we couldn't have skyloaded and then something. Let's go ahead and rare candy this Magnezone. Lay down an energy onto the Dusky main. And play a Cynthia. See if we can get us some more energies. I don't want to lay this down just yet. This thing's probably going to get knocked out here, or maybe I can ace to roll it back earlier so I can play it again. Let's go ahead and magnetic circuit to attach this energy right down here. I don't want to bring this up just yet to like just claw slash or something because the energy drive will actually hurt like that. So I think we're just going to call it good there. Next turn though, I think I want to Skyla for an Ultra Ball and see if we can get us our auxiliary up and running. That would be good. That would help us really start to dig into those energies. At the moment, I would probably Ultra Ball away the Bridget and the Magnezone if we don't get in. Love to see what we end up drawing. So there's the Crow and there's the Coco. So far, we are playing Tapu Crow. Which once again, I am fine. And I kind of hope he keeps laying energy down onto this Lele, just so we over-infest, and then next turn I can just take it out with a Meteor Tempest and just wipe his board progress. Bodybuilding dumbbells onto the Honchkrow, okay. That's fine. I am A-okay with that. Yeah, keep investing, that's totally fine. Alright, time for you to go down. Let's go ahead and Skyla for an Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball away a Bridget and a Magnezone for an Opt. Play this Octillery down. We're gonna put the Mount Coronet into play just so we can kind of, and actually let's go ahead and drop the Dusk main just so we can get a more dynamic Abyssal hand here. We are just shy of getting it. Although actually we can Sun's Eclipse GX because we are behind on prizes, so that is actually Sun's Eclipse GX. Oh wait, no, we have 4, so we could go for the Meteor Tempest. I don't want to have to discard yet though, so that's fine. Sun's Eclipse GX, goodbye. You have lost all board progress. I'm so mean tonight. I don't mean to sound mean. I feel like I sound super mean when I said that. I'm not a vindictive person, I promise. Okay, so they've got a Crow up. We've got no damage on our Pokemon right now though, so that's not a threat like, at all. Probably going to go for a Flying Flip if he's got a DCE here. That would be the smart thing to do, just to spread around some damage. I mean, that's the only thing we can really do, so then we can go for a big hit with Honchkrow. But the thing about it is, like, I love spread decks. I really enjoy playing them. That's kind of why I really want to make Greninja Blazion. But the thing, yeah, thing about it is though, like, when I'm running a deck that has a couple base roll-up or more, and you damage all of my Pokemon, like especially my Lele's, that lets me just so, I mean, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Let's go ahead and stop this investment that they have on back here. We're gonna throw up our Magnezone, slap the Glowstone on him, and just retreat, put back up the Dusk main. That's pretty much all we can really play from our hand because we're loaded up with supporters, that kind of stinks. I'm not really threatened by this Honchkrow though because we have no damage on the board right now, so let's just go ahead and Claw Slash. I don't want to have to discard for that thing. That's totally fine. I feel like we're already in a position that's pretty strong, so I'm not really bad. We've also lost a couple Mount Coronets, so that's a little bit problematic. So let's go ahead and move that down. Because I'm just going to help them. I think I'm just going to go for... You know what? Here's what we're going to do just to get matches. Actually, no, not yet. Not yet. Let's go ahead and just go for a Claw Slash for the knockout. They don't have any other energy. I mean, if they do pull off an attack here, it's not going to be anything huge. They're not running GX Pokemon, so it's not like they're going to pull out some crazy GX attack and slaughter us, so... They're in a bad spot. Well, that's actually good, though. Ringuru is great when you have a non-hand whistle. So let's go ahead and... Sorry, dude. I know, we have our own way. Let's go ahead and... This is just stupid. Gosh, this is ridiculous. Let's go ahead and just lay down that energy there. I'm gonna slap down this choice band and don't need it, and actually let's not do it. Okay, so here's the route. Oh, you know what? I know what to do. You're gonna Skyla, or a Rescue Stretcher, or a Lele, or... Oh, wait. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, that did make sense. We're just going to save that Lele for later. And let's go ahead and just lay down a Professor's Button here. And next turn we can use the Lele to ace a roll of this Necrozma for the Yellow Frozen, increase onto this healthy Necrozma down here. And just... Okay, so let's go ahead and use the Lodo to dig for that DCE. Doesn't look like they got it. Did they get him? They just didn't see it, maybe. We got a Cynthia off the Instruct, so that's pretty good. Dumbbells. Let's go ahead and put the Magnum Zone here. That way we can blow. They Sycamore, the piano away, that's fine. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we got plenty. There we go. So we are fine. Let's go ahead and magnetic circuit these down. As you see, we've got 20, 40, 60, 80. So they can do 90 choice band. That doesn't worry me at all. So I'm just going to go ahead and create tempos. Use the energies next to them. Remember to Professor's letter if you want to do it left. Figure it out. And there's this little bit of missing star. So I don't care that. And another choice band on one of their birds. Got Kokomo in the active, so if they do run to PTCGO or something, they can do something about it. Part of me kind of wants to go Turbo Lele. That'd be pretty fun. DCE, we managed to get it with that Energy Loto. Energy Loto is a pretty good card, if I'm honest. It's cool that you can grab things that aren't just basic energy. There's the cat. Wouldn't be a proper video about that. Really? Why? It's totally tough to look out the Magazone. It seems like a weird choice. Let's go ahead and see if we can Professor's letter for something. We did get one, maybe that's good. Let's put down the silver layout for some stars. Do you really need that, as much trash as I'm talking about Time to Pro, they've got us down. They've got themselves down at 2 votes, so I can't really say much about it. I think I've been kind of playing a little dummy here. I haven't been taking the match as seriously, so sure enough, I don't think it's Time to Pro. I haven't been really feeling my damage that effectively, so that's on me. Alright, so they're trying to get some more spread down. Okay, let's go ahead and lay down this Magnemite just to fill that hand. Cynthia, there's a good chance we're not going to get a Coronet. Makes me wonder if that's the last prize. I really hope it's not. But he does not want to. Oh wait, no, we can't use Magnet. Let's see if we can get the much more red off this. We did not. That's okay. How many useless have they played? Because I might need to get a little worried here. They have played 2 useless. They probably do have more useless. And their deck is really getting low over there, so chances are if they play more than 2 useless, they outcome. They didn't get it. down to one card in their deck. Okay. So I think actually we have it now. Because I'm pretty sure we have another Guzma in the deck. We can Lele for the Guzma. Or the because they've got boost damage. Seriously. Seriously well played. That was pretty good. I had to check for a second, I was like, they have dumbbells on that bird. So that Cornet was in there, that wasn't my last prize, so I definitely could have drawn into it, but I didn't. Got a ticket, tournament ticket off of that, so that's good. Next round we are going against Erica Best Girl. I don't know if I agree with that. No, I think that would be Mallow. Hey, we both mulligan. That's great. Ouch. Worst start ever. Oh my gosh. This is a bad start. Darkest time. At least we're going first, so we can. I think it looked like we got a couple more mulligans, so I can probably draw a few cards, hopefully, and get Rigid Rings on. Rigid in the float zone. We'll see. Tough decisions there to make. Maybe they step away to get a drink or something. Okay, so we did get this. That's kind of cool. So we just can put a basic out there. I don't want to lay down Coronet because it's going to get field blowered and we don't need it yet. The best thing I think we can do right now is end. And we might be ending them into a better hand. But you know, there's risks in life that you gotta take them. Alright, so down the order goes. Let's find energy onto the DUSK. Next turn we can style up her Candy Ultra Ball, this little energy, whatever we draw, for the DuskyZone and have that turn to oh, that's not cool. Boy. Not that it really matters, I mean... It's fine. Alright, so let's... Ultra Ball. Actually, I kinda want an Ultra Ball for a I think that's what we do, actually. Because the thing is, I could get, you know, the DuskyZone up, but at the same time, it's like, well, I don't know. It's not that I have like loads of energy in my hands to just lay down with the DuskyZone, so I think this is a little bit riskier play, but the overall better play. 7. Hey, we got the rare candy, and we got, well, not what we wanted, but that's, you know, that's how the cookie crumbles. That's life. Well, I don't want to play the Professor's Letter yet because I don't need it, because I don't want DuskyZone out yet. Next turn, if I draw an Ultra Ball or a DuskyZone, I can candy into it and start laying down some serious energy. We'll see what happens. Now let's just pass. So far they're playing Grass Energy onto a Caesar Reject, so maybe some kind of like weird... No, I useful baton, so apparently they want to be able to pass these energies on. But really get it. I think what we want to do here is set it, because right now we really just need the candy magnezone and some leaves to get some energies. Okay, so next turn we can Lele for a Skyla for an Ultra Ball for a Magnezone, Candy Magnezone. Good. I have no idea what this deck is supposed to be. I remember there's something with... I don't know. I don't get it, guys. It's not for me to get. Alright, so now we've got a Meteor Tempest lined up, so that... let's go ahead and Lele to the plan for Skyla. This is gonna hurt. We're gonna get rid of that. Yeah, we do have 3 more coronets, so that's fine. We want to be able to use the Cynthia to draw to some energies. So let's grab that Magnezone. I'm kind of bummed that we don't have the Remoraid out this set. So that kind of stinks. Okay, and then, oh, actually, we can get some people first. So we know they've got energy denial and energy. What is some of the energies so far? We don't have any special energies, so we've got that. I just don't know what this deck is. I'm so confused. There's one grass energy right there. What's happening? Mantis, okay. Like, I don't even know what life is anymore. Yeah. Cool. That's cool. Okay. Okay. Alright, so we are gonna... we have some decisions. We could load up with Jackson over. Dang. One off from being able to load up GX. So we have any energy in the discard. We have one, so we can do it. Okay, so we are gonna retreat our Solgaleo or Dialga. We're gonna play an energy down right here. Let's go ahead and melt for our net. Let's go ahead and... oh, come on, let me do the thing! Oh, poop on you. Yes, let's take it. That's fair. We got another tournament ticket, so that's kind of cool. So, oh, sorry, go. Blaze. It's already ready. Go, Blaze. Expecting the fire deck. What's that? Another water smoker. Probably playing Dust Main with out with almost done. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and lay down this coronet because I'd rather not get rid of it. This is just straight up a dead card on... I mean... Let's just do that. Let's just... It's fine. Okay, and we are gonna just go for Cynthia. I don't know if it makes me happy or sad that we're going against a Lowland Doug trio in the finals. I think it's funny. I say funny, but watch, we're about to get down. We're probably about to get down. I should have Ultra Balled like a Magnemite or something. Okay, so they don't have Doug Trio yet. I was thinking they probably did. So that's good. That Coronet makes Ultra Ball so good. So we can just do that. Immediately get them back. That was really good. Alright, so Lele, just gonna look through here. So we've got all the buddies. We're missing a rare candy. That's okay. Oh, we have 2 Coronets prized. But like I said, that's not really a problem because they want Coronet too, so it benefits both of us. I don't think they'll be getting rid of it. Decent amount of energy prize. That's kind of stinky. I'm thinking what I actually do here is I'm thinking we actually go for Dialga, because Dialga Shred can actually knock out anything in this deck except for Lele. So I'm happy just loading that up. Let's go ahead and get the Coronet, get the energies back. That's fine. And here's what we're gonna do. We are gonna hope our game doesn't lag. Let's go ahead and retreat, bring up Dialga, and we are actually gonna overclock. And it looks like next turn we will have the Magnezone. We can Ultra Ball for the Magnezone, we have the candy in our hand. So I think we are gonna be pretty set. Spelunk again. Man, they are not getting the Doug Trios out. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I had better luck than this with Doug Trio. Although I didn't get to the finals of any tournament ever because it's Doug Trio, so I gotta give him props for that. So, alright, so let's go ahead and Ultra Ball for the Magnezone. There we go. Probably could have Ultra Balled for the Octillery, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and lay that down. I don't want to play down the Floatstone just yet because we do only have the one. Let's go ahead and Coronet for 2, get those down on Dialga, and I don't think I actually want to play any more on Dialga. Because they could potentially swing this and get like a big knockout here. Let's go ahead and Cynthia just to see if, you know, maybe we can get an Octillery. That would be pretty cool. We don't get the Octillery though. I'm wondering what we load up. I mean, we could just load 3 energies onto a Lele and use that for energy drive. I'm thinking that's probably a smart play, although they have minus 20 psychic resistance, so I would need 4 energy on a Lele to make that happen, and that doesn't quite seem worth it. So I think I actually will go for the Dusk main. I'm whenever I get it. So Shred, just gonna knock out this Diglett here, get an easy prize, and yeah. Okay, so they've got the Starmie. That allows them to dig for energy out of their discard. So that's pretty cool. Rescue Stretcher back the Diglett onto the bench. Got rid of their Cyrus. I don't believe in Cyrus, I'm sorry. I just don't. Alright, Eva Soda's gonna come down on this active dig. Oh no! I thought maybe they had the energy in their hand again, so they're gonna Ultra Ball. Oh, but they have the 2 Starmie in play and the Mount Coronet now, so they probably can just get that energy pretty easily. Yeah, once you get those Starmie down, it starts to get pretty rough. Got the Professor's letter and everything. They have everything that they need. Go Rush. Oh, wait. They did not get it. Weird. Okay. Let's go ahead while we have the chance and Skyla for an Ultra Ball, and let's get us some Dusk Mane. I don't need another Mount Coronet gumming up my deck. Just toss an energy. Let's dig out that. Probably again should go for the Octillery, but I don't wanna. Get out the Dusk Mane and start loading him up. Like I said, I'm really worried this is a mistake, because giving Dugtrio like big targets for knockouts is not usually smart. It's okay, we can make it happen. Oh, I am a dummy. Oh wait, actually, on Cornet. Oh, okay, I could still do it. Okay, I was gonna say we could just Timeless GX here and then get another turn. That would be the smart thing. Okay, Timeless GX. Go ahead and get the miles out of it. Bop. You, sir, have been bopped. True Metal Energy, not exactly what I wanted, but that's okay. Let's see what they put active. Probably gonna be the Rangaroo, maybe? I don't know. I'm actually a-okay with that, because here's what we can do. Let's go ahead and slap that energy down on Duskmane. We can retreat Dialga, pull up the Duskmane, get some of those energies back with Mount Coronet, play them down on the Duskmane, so that we can really just keep on trucking. Do I want to load it up anymore though? I don't know if I do. Let's just put 1 energy onto the Duskmane. Okay. Done. That's fine. Meteor Tempest. Get us down to 2 prizes. We are almost there. Again, not really prizes that I'm wild about, but that's fine. It is what it is. Okay, so they're probably, I mean, not even probably, I'm pretty sure they're going to get the knockout here. If they do, that's not really a big deal because I can bring up Dialga and Shred, or I could potentially load up Lele or load up Magnezone or something. That probably wouldn't be the best idea. I'd probably load up the Lele. See, I'm not too worried. Okay, yeah, they just gave up. So yeah, that's kind of cool. We won a tournament. Again, kind of like with the Glaceon tournament, I don't know how much credit I really want to take for that because we weren't really battling against a lot of like super hopped up meta decks. This is kind of a pretty casual tournament here. But that's okay. You know, win is a win. Packs are packs. I'll take it. Talking about the deck, I kind of see where people are coming from when they say that they would rather just have a Dusk main. Because it's nice to have a really solid knockout attack in Duskmane's GX attack that doesn't discard energy, especially early in the game, when you don't have all your resources ready to go to get you all of your energy back and running from the deck and that kind of thing. So I do kind of get that. I do still like Dialga as an inclusion. And I'm still not really convinced that the Magneton is needed. So, did I learn anything from this event? I don't know. I had fun. I hope you guys had fun. I got to show off a deck that's, you know, kind of not big, but, you know, popular. It's well liked. I think a lot of people really got hyped for this list. Not necessarily my list, but, you know, of course, but you know, the list in general. Dusk main. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to leave some likes and comments down below. Let me know what you think should be changed from the list. Let me know what you wouldn't include in the list that I have in there. Let me know what you would swap out for what. Really interested to hear. I'm always interested to kind of improve my lists. Like I said, even though we didn't see a big showing of this deck in the recent 2 tournaments this last weekend, I don't necessarily think that that's evidence that the deck is, you know, bad or anything. I still think it's a good deck. Tier 1 remains to be seen. But you know, in the meantime, let's go ahead and actually just open up some packs. We got a Breakthrough pack, a Burning Shadows pack, a Sun and Moon base pack, and 3 Ultra Prism booster packs. So that's kind of cool. We'll start with Sun and Moon base. Let's go left to right, I suppose. That's fine. Let's see what we've got here. Got a Dartrix, that's kind of cool. Primarina, that's fine. Got another Nest Ball, you know, these cards are pretty playable. Burning Shadows, let's see what we get from here. Got a Kiawe, that's cool. Bruxish, the troll of the set. I'm gonna break the left to right pattern just to get to this breakthrough pack because I kind of want to open the Ultra Prism packs last because that's fun. Got a Remoraid, that's cool. That's the good Remoraid. Got that Cyndaquil, that's just pretty cool. I didn't apparently have a Reverse Hollow one online, so that's neato. And we got a Braviary. Okay, now we're going to get into the 3 Ultra Prism packs. With these tournament packs, I don't really care too much what I get. You know, if I don't get anything crazy, that's fine. The fun and playing these is mostly just getting to play with you guys, so that's okay. Oh, we got a Weavile. That's actually pretty great right there. If you didn't watch the tournaments over the weekend, Weavile is Weavile's good. Cyrus Prism Star, I'm happy to see. Not quite as convinced that it's super playable, but definitely good trade fodder. Let's see, got another solid unit Magnemite. Can always trade those off to friends that need it. Got ourselves an Empoleon. That's another deck that I really want to do more testing on. And last but not least, let's see what we get for this final pack. We got a Cynthia. That's definitely good trade fodder. Happy to see that. And a Washrotom. That's okay. The Cynthia and the Weavile really kind of made those packs worth it for me. We got some more tournament tickets, and we had a good time. So I will edit this up. I will have this up maybe tomorrow night. We'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me. And until next time, have a good one. Boop.